Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong with 50% less jarring editing. Oh, we're going to be talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut for a lot of people. Apparently the first reviews of the Suicide Squad and also Shazam on set doing battle. But first off, I want to talk about Blade Runner. Blade Runner 2049 is one of my favorite movies of all time. Well, now we're going to get to peek into that world a little bit more with Bladerunner Black Lotus. And no, Ryan Gosling is not in this one. Jessica Henwick has been cast in the lead role for Adult Swim's anime series Bladerunner Black Lotus. Now, there's nothing more to tell about this than the huge entire cast, including American and Japanese voice actors. But if it's anything like Blade Runner 2049 in terms of the look and the feel and the music, please, I would definitely love that. First I thought Jessica Henwick was going to be a Blade Runner, but actually, she's going to be a replicant. The Blade Runner is actually played by Josh Duhamel, and I think we're going to find out a little bit more at San Diego Comic-Con, because there's not much else going on at San Diego Comic-Con now. More on that later. Zack Snyder today unveiled Army of Thieves. Jesus, this guy comes up every single day and he has hard-hitting content for us. Meet the Army of the Thieves, the action-packed prequel to Army of the Dead, directed by and starring Matthias Schweighöfer. Matthias Dieter is coming soon to Netflix. Hashtag Army of Thieves. No, this is not directed by Zack Snyder, but he is producing it. It is part of Stone Quarry Productions, and it actually expands on Army of the Dead. I mean, looking at these stills, that safe looks interesting. Since the original Army of the Dead is more than a zombie movie, there's got aliens, they got some type of time loop theory. I'm going to guess these safes that Dieter is actually trying to crack, he actually has something to do with that whole time loop theory. Maybe even starting the whole Groundhog's Day thing. And so for one of my theories is not only Vanderroel has gone through this many times, possibly Dieter as well, or maybe Dieter started it. So I don't think there's going to be much zombies in this because this is the prequel and Dieter said he hasn't seen any zombies, though he really knew how to shoot. I think this will absolutely capture and explore more of the Army of the Dead franchise, probably add more to the theories that we all have about Army of the Dead. That alone is exciting enough, and I can't wait to see this movie. Speaking of Zack Snyder, Cinema Blend actually caught up with Charles Roven, the producer who was also attached to Justice League. When asked if Charles Roven himself knew anything about the numbers or how well the Snyder Cut Zack Snyder's Justice League did on HBO Max, this is what Charles Roven had to say. There still seems to be some ambiguity about how much. And don't get me wrong, I'm really happy that Zack Snyder was finally able to get his vision out there in the way that he wanted to, and it was a great thing that the fans voiced that to help make that happen. But there seems to be some ambiguity about whether or not that was, from Warner Media's point of view, a win. At least, I've not been able to figure it out. I've heard different things about the streaming numbers, right? You have some independent companies that actually give some streaming figures, and they vary. So it's hard to understand the reality of what really happened. I know a lot of people really liked Zack's version, and obviously the amalgamators of what reviewers' feelings were, whether it's Rotten Tomatoes or Cinema Score or the critics, they've all touted it as being really great. But we really haven't heard anything in particular from Warner Brothers. They certainly haven't said it was bad, but they haven't said it was really great. And that's pretty sad that they won't want to admit how well Zack Snyder's Justice League did. And for me, I think absolutely it's because of their ego. They don't want to admit that they were wrong the first time around by saying they needed Joss Whedon to come in and fix Justice League when it didn't really need fixing. And Zack Snyder's Justice League being the better version of the two. So in that case, why would they ever admit that? But like I said, it's great to see that AT&T and Warner Media and Discovery actually putting Zack Snyder's Justice League in their PowerPoint presentations to show that that really mattered for HBO Max. Cineblend also asked about David Ayer's Suicide Squad. He said this, "I don't know because I haven't had any direct communication with Warner Brothers about it. I know that David Ayer wants an opportunity to do that, and we just have to see." Well, he didn't actually put it down saying that it's never going to happen, so I guess we just have to wait to see is the best line I could give you nowadays. Speaking about Marvel Studios and DC Films, looks like once again they are not going to attend San Diego Comic-Con this year. Why should they? I mean, this is going to be San Diego Comic-Con at home, again, a virtual event. When DC Films got their own event at DC Fandom coming in October, and Marvel Studios could pop anything and everything they have in their arsenal at their Investors Day meeting. So I think until San Diego Comic-Con actually has a physical meeting once again with a giant Hall H where the crowd is alive and the smell, okay, Not that I've actually been there, but I've heard about it. But still, yet the energy was awesome. I still remember when they announced Batman v Superman. The crowd was roaring. I was watching on my phone about this big, and I was already getting excited. That's kind of hard to hear people through a virtual event. Like I said, it's this year only. Next year, probably, if everything gets better, we'll probably have a physical San Diego Comic-Con. Alright, let's talk about the Suicide Squad. Apparently, there's 2 reviews that came out for the Suicide Squad. Well, actually, the reviews didn't come out on Rotten Tomatoes. The first official reviews of the Suicide Squad were shown in a new TV spot of the film. Digital Spy gave it 4 stars. Ali Plum from BBC Radio 1 says, a jaw-dropping spectacle. Okay, it's not much. It's just some taglines from people's reviews that are obviously given to DC films before the embargo lifted. So I'm sure a lot of people have already seen this movie. And so from a lot I've heard, it's really good. So let's see what happens. Hey, it's Zachary Levi starring as Billy Batson, also known as Shazam, on the set of Shazam! Fury of the Gods. And I'm going to say, just honestly, from the differences between the Shazam! Fury of the Gods set and the Shazam set, the costumes look amazing this time around. I'm very happy they got better costumes. I'm very happy the shading looks better. I'm very happy the padding looks more realistic. And I'm also excited to see battle damage on these suits. What is going on? Looks like he's having a battle right in the streets. There's cars overturned. There's charred damage on his suit. And he even looks like he's performing a Kamehameha. Okay, actually, I think this is him copying the superhero Eugene, where Ross Butler played Eugene in the first Shazam and actually did a Hadouken. As far as I can see, only Shazam, Zachary Levi, was on set for this, but I'm really curious what battle is going on here, and they're right in the city. We're clearly seeing a higher budget for this movie, and I'm really excited to see how much action David F. Sandberg is going to throw into this movie. And if the action is so intense that it's almost like Man of Steel-ish, then we know that David F. Sandberg really had to pull back because of the budget. I'm sure our first look at what these action scenes are going to look like and what the tone of this movie is going to be when we see it at DC Fandom for its first teaser. Now, this is the part where something really crazy is going to happen, so I really need your help. I need you to click on one of these videos before anything happens.